I always take the wrong one. Okay, so we go to 2017. I think we were there, and we'll continue with 4, 6, and 10ers. Let me see. I think that one was the one we were working, isn't it, boys? Good, and we finished this one, so we go to 1, 2. Let's see. Good, let's see what was the question. 2017, 2 hours, again, the same thing. 2 from this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are not interested. They are before our period. We've done this, I think. Yeah, we've done this. Okay, let's do the last part, the second part of the League of Nations, okay? Describe the org of the League of... I think we've done this. Yeah, we go back and we look into 1, 3. Good. Okay. So let's start with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a good one. Describe the events in Vilna. Which country was Vilna, boys?
Lithuania and Poland.
Lithuania, excellent, and Poland. Good, very good. Lithuania and Poland. And I think that was Michael, isn't it? Welcome, Michael. Okay. So let's go to that. Historic cards. So Lithuania and Poland. Tell me in few words, what was the story in there and what happened?
Poland invaded Lithuania to get Vilna.
Yes. Yep. And
so
what happened?
Lithuania called for the League of Nations to settle the dispute.
Yeah. And what happened? What was the settling?
They basically couldn't do anything, and the Polish kept Vilna. Yes,
because French, they wanted to remain friends with Polish people. Very good. Let's go and see what is the marking scheme. What did they say about this? Okay, so that's here. And we're going to take that, and any 4 points, from what you've said now, you can easily make your 4 points, and you'll see it's very easy. Of course, Polish people, they have heaps of problems with Lithuanians, though these two, so you have to go into historical part, your general knowledge. These were like sister countries, okay? Remember that they've been together in a kingdom in 1100 or something like that, around that period of time. So Poland was kind of like in a very good relation with Lithuania. Good. So let's see. Describe the events in Lithuania, in Vilna, and that's a 4-pointer. Of course, 1 mark for each relevant point. And what we have in here, look at that. Let's see. Let's count how many you've got. Polish troops seized Vilna. Perfect. You got that. Lithuania appealed to the League of Nations over Vilna. Perfect. 2nd point. You got that. The League of Nations tried to arrange a plebiscite to decide. Okay. We didn't get that. The Polish government agreed to the plebiscite at first, but then changed its mind. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. And the Poles refused to leave Vilna. And then Britain and France did not want to get involved in a dispute. So why? You can say why, because they didn't want to, actually they wanted to keep Poland as a big ally. In this specific question, you put the factor of population. Population of Poland is huge comparing with population of Lithuania. Yeah, it's a kind of like a difference between France and New Zealand, something like that. So really, really big difference. Polish, they are around 50 to 60 million, I think, if I'm correct. And Lithuanian, maximum 3-4 million. So you can see the difference. And of course, strategical position was hugely in favor of Poland. So that will be the events in Vilna. Look at that, how easy it is. Simple and easy, done and dusted. Let's go to the next one. Next one will be, why did the League of Nations not impose sanctions against Japan following the Mukden incident? Beautiful question. And that's a 6-pointers. Remind me what we do, boys, in a 6-pointers.
To explain like a 3-2 argument.
3-2 argument. Do you reckon?
No, isn't it 2 explained answers?
2 explained answers, yeah. 3-2 arguments. Theo will be in 10-pointers, okay? Not a problem if you, you know, if you've done a mistake. It's just a simple mistake. Don't worry too much. It is, even if you do 3-2 arguments will be good because there will be arguments very well done. So it will be more than enough for your 6. But let's stay with 2 main reasons, 2 main points. Okay, so that's Mukden incident, and that's Manchuria. League of Nations. Good. So let's go and see what is that thing. What do we know about this, boys? What do we know about why did the League of Nations not impose sanctions against Japan following the Mukden incident? First of all, you have to say what was the Mukden incident in few words, and then you just say. So who will try? Just try. It's not a.
Wasn't the Mukden incident a border conflict between Japan and China and Manchuria?
Yeah.
Which I believe the Japanese used to try justify an invasion of Manchuria.
What exactly was what kind of incident was there related to something specific?
A railway was destroyed.
Yes, a railway was destroyed. That's right, isn't it? Good, very good. So, and what happened? Why do you think the League of Nations not imposed sanctions against Japan?
Because Japan was a great power and they had the power to veto the sanctions.
Yes, yes, very good. Excellent. So look at that. We already have 2 main things. So your focus will be to find 2 main reasons why League of Nations didn't impose sanctions. So 1 and the second, and then develop them very well. Or 1 single reason. You go on this line of Japan being a very strong country and being able to use the veto, and then you develop this very well, and then you will have 5 marks out of 6. Okay, so let's see what's our answer to create a card. Also, look at that. It's a very good point in here. The league was what? Eurocentric. What does it mean? Who can tell me? What's Eurocentric?
Like focused on Europe, central around Europe?
Yes, yes, excellent. Focused on Europe. Excellent. Well done. Okay, so let's see. Let's do this together. Very easy. Remember, we learn from this. So we are in the middle of revision. I'm not so interested in your excellent answers or not so excellent answers. you are allowed to make mistakes and stuff. You find your own words and you'll be encouraged to do well in the exam. So why did the League of Nations not impose sanctions against Japan? Okay, that's the one, and it's a 6-pointer. And let's see what they say here. Level 4, explain 2 reasons. Level 3, explain 1 reason for 4 and 5. Should be an excellent explanation to get 5. Okay, so the League was Eurocentric in nature, and therefore any action that could affect European interests was unlikely to take place. European powers in the League, such as Britain and France, had colonies in Far East, and they did not want anything to pose a threat to their colonies and the trade that came with them. Look at that. That's a very good example. You involve imperialism and colonialism in this one. And of course, they thought that imposing sanctions, look at that, on Japan could cause Japan to attack these British and French interests or colonies. So that will be a very, very good one. So as I said, boys, you don't have to worry too much about it now. We are learning. So look at that. You already learned that in case of having of this, if you have this question, you will really look into the colonialism and a colonial interest. So let's put main reason. France and British colonial interests. Okay, so even better, protecting. So they didn't want to be involved because any involvement like this will bring problems. Look at that. Beautiful reason, isn't it? And now we have to find 1 or 2 and group them together in a second reason. Okay, so let's see, second reason. And it's really up to you to find one. Let's see, what can we do from here? European members of the League thought it was too far away to concern them. That's a good point. The main European powers in the League possess colonies. We've done that. European powers didn't want to lose trade. We've done that. Provoke an attack of Japanese. European nations didn't want to send a military force to the other side of the world. Look at that. You can group this easily together, you see? So what you'd say here, second reason, military involvement. Not profitable. Okay, so they didn't care too much, and you can develop an easy point from this one. You can just throw in there another one question. The League didn't have League of Nations without an army. Only option was sanctions or condemnation, isn't it? Condemnation, okay. Okay, condemnation, good. So you see, easy, 2 pointers, not such a big deal. What you said in the beginning. So I will start with telling readers about this incident. So I'll say the League of Nations, Japan attacked Manchuria, exactly what you said. Japan attacked Manchuria in a railway incident. They believe that this will be enough to spark an intervention and a possible invasion to follow their interests, economic interests and military interests. And then main reasons why did the League of Nations not impose sanctions against Japan will be that they wanted to protect their colonial interests. They were afraid that an involvement will affect the trade. Remember, the Japanese were really well and deep into the trade. One of the main, most important one was silk, and heaps of different interests in there. They didn't want to affect this their interest in the colonies in the Far East, so they thought that imposing sanctions will upset Japan. And Japan, as you said, was a big power. Probably was a second tier towards the first tier power, you know, qualifying in the first tier, together with Germany, Russia, France, and England. Japan and Italy were quite there, you know. You can associate always, of course, not in writing, think of the rugby position of Japan and Italy. Italians, they've been accepted in the Six Nations. Japan is an incoming nation, a huge nation in rugby. So kind of like they, in terms of status, it's the same, going from second level to the first level. That was the thing. Good. So that's easy, done and dusted. Next one. Next one will be, let's see. The League did all within its power to deal with Abyssinian crisis. How far do you agree? That's a good one. And this is where you come, Theo, with your famous 3-2-2. Okay, so let's see. What can you tell me about that? A few words. The League did all within its power. Remember, you have to position yourself on the yes, the League did all, and no, the League didn't. Okay, so tell me, who's going to tell me for yes, did all in this power to deal, what they did. Few words, okay? Come on, until I'm preparing the card. Okay. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to talk about 31 Abyssinia. You have to talk about what the League did. Did to fix this problem. Okay. So let me see. What the League did, they started a commission to look into the thing. What was the commission's name?
Leighton Commission.
Yes, very good. The commission was extremely kind of like committed to do this, but they were not so fast. So on the negative part, you'll just say, for the no part, you will say that the League was extremely slow. They didn't actually wanted to fix that problem. What was another thing that the League threatened Italy with? Do you remember? They threatened Italy to do what? To impose some special tariffs on their exports and imports, especially on the oil. And they actually, that's a no, they actually postponed and postponed and postponed until the thing ended. So they were not very decisive. I would say that the League was actually on the other part. So let's see how they fix this. So Control C. Again, think of these boys as 3 and 2. That's always the best. So this is a 10 pointers, 10 marks, and It's very easy. You're gonna thank me for this in the last week before the exam, because this will be gold. All these PowerPoints, all these cards. We want to do 100, and I'm gonna do 100. I promised you. That's my target. So level file explains with evaluation. You have to evaluate both. Okay. Without evaluation, it's nothing. Okay, so now for yes, for yes, that's actually what they did well. Okay, so let's go to that. The League did all within its power to deal with the Abyssinian crisis. That's the question, my friends. How far do you agree? Yes, they did. So that's the thank you. Yes, they did. And no, they didn't. That's the second part. Okay, so for yes, they did, you have to find 3. And for no, they didn't, 2 main reasons. Okay, look at that. The League didn't do enough. So no, they didn't. Okay, and this one should be 2. In my opinion, it's more on this one. Okay, but yeah. Okay. So let's see. The League acted swiftly when Italy invaded Abyssinia, condemning Italians' aggression. That's correct. So condemning Italia's aggression, that's your first point, very important. And the next one, setting up a committee to decide economic sanctions and all that BS, okay? Now, the League banned arms sales and the export of rubber. We know that. Good. And also tin and metals to Italy. Loans to Italy were banned. Look at that. And in this moment, you have more than 3 points. For no, they did not. The League simply did not do enough. Some countries acted in self-interest, and this affected exactly what was done to Italy. The Suez Canal was the main route for Italian ships, and they didn't actually close it. So there was 1 point. The League did not close the Suez Canal, which was kept open because Britain was afraid that closing the same story in there, Italian will attack possessions of Gibraltar and Malta. And the next part I will add in here will be they threatened to overtax their oil exports, but stop short doing that. So they didn't actually. Okay, it's very simple. That's another no. They did not manage to do that. So, anyone to add anything else, boys? Or I think it's enough, isn't it? I think it looks good now. So, look at that. Yes, they did. No, they did not. A very easy question, this one, I would say. Extremely easy question. What do you think you're going to get in this one out of 10? I want to see. Let's do the same exercise, boys. Oh, and Toby is here. Welcome, Toby. Just tell me here what you're going to get from this one. I will start. I'll be the first one to start, and I will tell you that I will do 10. I'm pretty sure. It's easy. What else? Come on, boys. 7, 8, 8, 10. An 8 will be good. Look at that, all of you 8. That's not bad, boys. That's not bad, though. This one is an easy one. Just remember that anything related to the big events of the League of Nations, especially failures, we've done tons of information. So now is the moment when you actually come up with something. For example, you just bring all this information alive. Okay, when you have that, that's okay. Let's go to the next one. So that's done. Good, awesome, perfect. I think we are going very well. Let me do this copy and paste to the next one. 032 for stop. Okay, what is the next? From 1933, international peace was under threat, so nothing about Treaty of Versailles here. Good. So we are on the road to war. From 1933, international peace was under threat. What did Hitler hope his foreign policy would achieve? Ooh, that's a good one. And that's a very, very easy 4 pointers. So Hitler's foreign policy. I pushed the wrong button. Good. Okay, so Hitler's foreign policy. Okay. Good. So, what do you think, boys? Give me something. What did Hitler hope his foreign policy would achieve?
He wanted to unify the German-speaking people.
Yes, that's good.
Lebensraum.
Yeah. Living space.
He wanted to undermine the League of Nations and also basically destroy the Treaty of Versailles.
Good. Yeah. And what else? Self-sufficiency. What was the name of that?
Autarky.
Yeah. Excellent. And also everything related with the Aryan race. Okay. So heaps of pointers in here. Let's go and start writing this down. Very, very easy. 5C, that's okay. Okay. Oh, and we forgot something. What do we, what was the thing, the main thing? What about communism?
He wanted to destroy it.
Yeah, you wanted to stop the communism from and destroy it, basically. Yeah, all Hitler wanted was to destroy stuff around because he had his own mind, his own ideas, and everything was actually envisaged in his book in Mein Kampf, where actually he pointed towards the main foreign policy objectives. You'll see later on in A level, A2 level, which is the last level, year 13, maybe you will do Hitler's foreign policy, and you'll see then when you discuss in depth about these things and the motivations and how he come up with these ideas and everything, because now at this point we just do the simple things, you know, like, but that's okay. It's enough. You had such a long journey with this subject. It's an amazing subject, especially year 11. So Hitler hoped to destroy the Treaty of Versailles. Ticked, achieved. Hitler hoped to create a greater Germany, make Germany great again. Achieved. Hitler hoped to bring all German-speaking people. Achieved. Hitler hoped to destroy communism. Achieved. Wanted to gain Lebensraum. Achieved. To control a Central European empire. So his Reich will be that one. So you can see 6 pointers in here. All of them easy, absolutely easy. So you've done this one, This one, all German-speaking people. Communism, we didn't, but it will come in the exam. And Lebensraum, that's a fourth one. So all of you, I'm happy all of you 4 credits for that. Easy as. Next. I love this kind of revision. It's amazing because it's worry-free. We don't have to worry about not knowing. We are learning now. We are revising now. Okay, why did Britain not act to stop Hitler breaking the Treaty of Versailles? Oh, beautiful. There is a word for that. There is a word. A single word.
Appeasement.
Exactly. That's the one. Appeasement. Well done. Who was that? Matthew? Yeah. Okay. So, very good, man. Let's see. Of course, the thing is bigger than appeasement. So, but that's the main point in there. Okay. So let's see. Yeah.
At the press meeting just yesterday's training.
Okay. So appeasement. Sorry, not appeasement. That's what was the question? The question is, yeah, Britain and Hitler. Britain and Hitler. Good. So Britain and Hitler. That's the one. And we're gonna go to here and just do it again, boys. 6 pointers, which means that you have 2 points very well explained. Okay. So, and we're gonna go and do the 2 top reasons. Okay. So that will be it. Why did Britain not act to stop Hitler? Okay, very easy. Many British politicians thought the Treaty of Versailles had been far too harsh on Germany. Remember that was their position in the cahoots. Was only addressing genuine grievances when he broke the terms of the treaty. When Hitler broke the terms of Versailles by marching into Rhineland, he was not stopped because many people in Britain believed that he had every right to station German troops in there. The Rhineland was, after all, part of Germany. What other point in here you can add? Same situation for Sudetenland, where with many German nationals living away from their fatherland. Okay, so the same thing, and this was another point in here will be appeasement. Okay, policy. So enough points in there to make a very strong reason. And then the second reason, let's see. Second reason. So first reason, how do we call that? First reason, we need to actually find a way to name it. Main reason. What's that? Hitler was on his right was it was too harsh anyway. Something like that. Okay, it's not really, you don't have to write it like that with the main reason. I'm just putting this in there just to show you what's the writing in there. So, and the second reason will be many British politicians are okay, we've done that. Britain wanted to avoid war. Look at that. So we can actually put this in here. Okay, so it's together with that. Britain wanted to avoid the war, and they started their appeasement policy. Okay. Britain and France were not military ready for another war, and also Britain thought communism was far greater threat than Hitler. Look at that. So this is actually appeasement, and communism. That will be a second one, boys. Anything else to add in here? I think that summarizes this perfectly. Why did Britain not act to stop Hitler? Main reason, Hitler was on his right to break some of the terms of the treaty because it was too harsh anyway. Second reason, the policy of appeasement and communism. The communists care, let's put it this way, the communists care. Excuse me. Okay, and that's about it. Done and dusted. Next. Oh, I like this. It advanced very fast. You okay, boys, with that?
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Let's see. Next question. 10 pointers. The Munich Conference was a turning point for Hitler's foreign policy. How far do you agree with this statement? Explain your answer. It's not an easy one, but not a difficult one also. Who will tell me what was about Munich Conference? Few words.
It was the conference for the Sudetenland.
Yes, and
Where the great powers of Britain, France, Germany, and also Italy met to discuss the fate of Czechoslovakia and the Sudetenland.
Yeah, very good. Munich Conference. Very good, Michael. So we need the famous 3/2 points of Theo. You're gonna think when you see a 10 pointers, you think of Theo. He is the one with 3 and 2. Okay, so let's see. Control V. Good. Bingo. Good. So let's see. The Munich Conference was a turning point. An interesting question, I would say. How far do you agree? And you have to actually explain your answer and say how far do you agree. So you have to evaluate that. Okay. Without evaluation, it's nothing. So you have to come up at the end with a conclusion after each. Okay. An evaluation over 10 pointers. You have to work a little bit more for the 10 pointers. Good. So we'll go like this. What will be the first thing in here? So again, you look at the question and you translate the question in your own words. So the Munich Conference was a turning point for Hitler's foreign policy. Yes, it was. And you get 3. It's not necessary that yes will have always 3. No, it wasn't, if you think, okay? No, it wasn't. Good. Let's see. Yes, it was. And no, it wasn't. It's like in a fight against kids. Okay, the Munich Conference was a turning point because it made him even more convinced that he could demand and take whatever he likes. So even more convinced that he could demand. Why? Why he was so convinced? You have to say why too when we explain why he was convinced. That was because of the weaknesses of League of Nations. Okay. So weaknesses of the League of Nations. Just give me a second. So what else? Now, who can tell me what was the year when this actually is implied in here? What is the year when the Munich Conference happened?
1936.
38, isn't it? I think it's 1938. Yeah, that was 1938, Sudetenland, yeah? Okay, so the Munich Conference from 1938 was a turning point because it made him even more convinced that he could demand and take whatever he liked. And what are you saying here? That was because of the weaknesses of League of Nations in the case of Abyssinia and Manchuria. Okay. Also, oopsie daisy. Also, because of the Rhineland and appeasement. Look at that. Everything is in there. He had gained the Sudetenland without having to use force. Okay, it was actually with blessing of the other so-called European countries, so-called big powers in Europe. Okay. He therefore went. So the other powers were too scared to stand up. Okay. To Hitler. And therefore went ahead and took all Czechoslovakia and invaded Poland. Beautiful, look at that. So you have more than 3 points for this one. Munich Conference is beautiful. Now, no, it was not. The Munich Conference was not a turning point for Hitler foreign policy because his foreign policy aims were largely the same and Munich did not change that. He had always made it clear he hated the very existence of Czechoslovakia and hated existence of Czechoslovakia and wanted to gain Lebensraum in the east. This is why he took all over and then invaded Poland. That's pretty good 2 reasons for no. So look at that, boys. How easy is that? What is missing now? What is missing now? How are you going to do that? Who's going to tell me? How are you going to do the conclusion plus evaluation in here for 10? So you reiterate what happened in here. So you say Hitler was always unhappy the existence of the successor states like Czechoslovakia and wanted to gain living space. But he was extremely encouraged by the lack of involvement of the main opposing powers by the policy of appeasement and the ineffectiveness of the League of Nations to take action against big powers. Look at that. That's the conclusion. You got it? This is how you do it, boys. Okay, good. It's perfect. Munich Conference was a turning point for Hitler's foreign policy. How far do you agree with that? Let's see how many I still have here. All of you, good. So we can continue for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Good. So any questions about this? I think it's pretty clear, pretty good, easy. Now we know about Munich Conference, what happened in there. You know how you structure all this stuff. Very, very easy, isn't it? Good. Next, let's copy and paste. Good. That will be 0.35. Look at that. We are so fabulous. So how many points in here, boys? How many? Tell me. For this one, I will get on this one 9. Because I'm modest. Probably I'll get a 10, but I'm just saying. What do you think? Who's going to beat me? Who's going to get a 10 in this one? Oh, come on, Michael, you can do more than me. I can see you as an exceptional history teacher. I know that's not what you want to hear, but oh, come on, Ben. No way, Ben. You will get 8 or 9 from this one. I can tell you. Well done, Toby. Good man. Okay. Yeah, the single problem I have is with Ben and Toby. Too low. You gotta do better, much better. Okay. It's probably because you didn't remember, you think you didn't remember exactly the year of the conference and what happened in there. But remember, the Munich Conference was always about the Czechoslovakia and Sudetenland, and it was exactly in that period when he started to expand. Okay, he started to expand. Actually, Rhineland was not an expansion because Rhineland was his right. Okay, it's not really an expansion, but this part with Sudetenland was really clearly an expansion. There was another state, another country, even if the population was German. It was a clear violation of the treaty. And that was it. So it was, even if it was his kind of like right to do that because they were German people, even if these people wanted desperately to come back to Germany because there was a huge nationalistic force in there, even harder like hard thinkers, more than Hitler and the Nazis. Anyway, good. Let's go to the next one quickly. We don't want to spend too much time on this one. Good. So, okay, let's go and do some Germany in here. Beautiful. What was the impact of hyperinflation in 1923 on the German people? This is so easy and so good. Germany, hyperinflation. Who's gonna tell me? Few words.
Loss of jobs.
Lost jobs, yep. What else? Hyperinflation. What's the first thing?
Banks collapsed.
Banks collapsed. Losing the power of money. Okay, so losing this thing. Okay, let's go. And again, that was gallopant, which means very, very fast and huge. And obviously lost jobs, unemployment was going high, degradation in people's life, poverty all over. What else? What was the impact? Did they love the hyperinflation? No, they didn't. And you have to say basic stuff like people didn't have, for example, money to put food on the table. So even if it's obvious, please state the obvious, because that's one of the most important things. You don't have to assume that they know that, but you have to show them that you know that. Okay, so let's see a few bits and pieces on this one. What was the impact of hyperinflation in 1923? Obviously on the Germans. People saving become worthless, so the money lost their value, as I said. Savings worthless, money become worthless. Price roses faster than incomes. Remember, it was the price was rising each day. So what is a very interesting point in here to remember, boys? Remember that some companies, they pay their people twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, in the afternoon, because people will go immediately and buy stuff, because the next day the prices will go 10 times more, you know? So this is a good point to actually add in here. So people could not afford food, okay? Not afford food, not afford heating. It was a shambles. It was very, very bad. Pensioners on fixed incomes, they don't have enough money for day-to-day living. Workers needed wheelbarrows to carry home their wages. Of course, a little bit of exaggeration, but that was the case. They will get in the bags this money. Okay, so look at that, how many points you can do in here. Very, very easy. Because you state the obvious. From the obvious, you get at least 2 out of 4 credits in here. So you have half of the marks by stating the obvious. Look at that. Savings become worthless, money become worthless, prices rose faster, not afford food, not afford heating. 5 points already. Wheelbarrows, 6 points. You see? The obvious. Easy peasy. Done. Oh man, I'm so hopeful about this exam, because that's going to be the one to give you confidence. Confidence is very important in Cambridge. 036. Let's see what's the next question for us. Good. The next question is, why did Germans resent the French occupation of the world? Oh my God, this is probably the easiest question of all. Okay, let's see, people. French occupation of Ruhr. Tell me.
Felt like the French unnecessarily attacking them for something they couldn't control.
Yes.
Which was hyperinflation.
Yes, and also why the French occupied the Ruhr? Why?
Because they couldn't pay back the reparations, the second payment.
Exactly. Excellent, Toby. Because of that, because they couldn't pay back the second installment of the reparations. So the French said, yeah, what the heck, in their own accent, let's invade and take what's ours, which was literally coal and all other stuff, goodies that they are in this region. Very good. So why did Germans resent the French occupation of the Ruhr? Interesting question. Resent. Look at that. And this is coming to complete what Toby and Michael said. So all together come in one. Look at that. So in reaction to the occupation, so the French occupation led to a collapse in German economy. Remember, main reason, and then this will be an economic reason, isn't it? Okay, so that will be your main reason, an economic one. Ultimately, the French occupation led to a collapse in German economy. In reaction to the occupation, the German government authorized passive resistance. So this is an explanation. The halt in industrial production meant that the government had to print more money. Government had to print more money to pay the striking workers. They said, okay, you go on strike and we're gonna continue to pay you. Germans blamed the French for causing the problem by occupying the Ruhr in the first place. Okay, blame the French. And this will actually answer the question why they resent, because they blame, okay, for causing the problem. Okay, so let's say for causing the problem. Good. Let's find another reason, another good reason. This one, the top one, is very well explained, and that will bring you 5 credits. You can even talk more in here about this. You can say that mainly is an economic. You can go into second reason. Remember, what is the question? Always going back to the question. Second reason, how should I put this? Attack on people, the repercussions. Repercussions on German workers. Okay, so that will be repercussions. What this means, you can start with this, but we've done that. 100 German workers were killed as a result of their refusal to work, isn't it? Okay, 100,000 protesters were expelled from the region, and this was actually contributing to collapse of the German economy and to onset of hyperinflation. So because of, okay, so look at that. Workers killed, protesters expelled, so repercussions on German workers, on German people. And so I think this will be absolutely enough for 6 pointers. It is a very easy question, this one. It's unexpectedly easy. You will be lucky if you'll have such a thing, because it's very easy and you know all this stuff. That's the part I'm interested to remember, boys. Very important for you. Remember this part. I'm going to put it this way. The halt in industrial production meant that the government had to print more money to pay the striking workers, and this actually led to hyperinflation. Look at that. It's so beautifully put in words. That's a very, very good question. Let's see a tour of the boys. What do you think? I think I'm going to get 6 on this one. What do you think, boys? You have to be very fair and just, acknowledge that the subject is difficult or easy for you. So, yeah, I should say so. Yes. Good. Good people. Okay. Very good. Next, quickly. We don't have time to waste. Copy and paste. 037. Now here comes the 10 pointers. 10 pointers will be: how important was the Dawes Plan of 1924 to the recovery of Weimar Republic? Explain us. Beautiful. Ooh, that is tough one. Okay, not tough. Not tough. Interesting. Let's put it this way: how important was the Dawes Plan? What was the Dawes Plan? Who's gonna explain to me?
Wasn't it the plan to constantly encourage German industry through American markets?
Yes. So lifting some of the restrictions and stuff. Dawes Plan, yeah, in 1920. What? Okay.
1923.
4. That's okay. Okay, that's okay, boys. That's why we are here, to just see the questions again and again, to be in constant contact with the subject, because we want to do very well. Otherwise, your teacher will have a problem with that. Okay, so how important was the Dawes Plan to the recovery? Look at that, to the recovery. Dawes Plan to the recovery. Okay, good. Let's see how important it was. The was important. So what do we have in here? Think, Theo. Yes, it was important. No, it wasn't. Why do I still talk about Theo? Because in this way, he will know exactly which one is 3 and 2. So it's a psychological factor. No, he knows that already, but he just, so no, it was not important. And there will be 2 reasons. Oh, I'm working, by the way, boys, I'm working on your reports. And they are such a good report. It's going to be a lot of work in this one. So, yeah, I have your place in the class and everything. Yeah, well, you will see the report. It's going to be cool. So, yes, it was important. 3 of these. No, it was not important. 2 of these. Let's see. For yes, the Dawes Plan was important to the recovery of the Weimar Republic. By linking reparations payments to Germany's economic performance, the plan ensured that Germany only paid what it could afford in reparation, together with a loan of 800 million gold marks, greatly boosted the German economy. Look at that. And of course, you can say about American loans. Etc. Okay, so you have many other things to add in here. So they are really, really good points. Linking reparation payment to economic performance, that's a good one. And you know that could afford reparations and so on. The loan of what 800 million gold marks, that's another one. So look at this, how many points you have, more than 3, more than enough. No, it was not important. The recovery was due to the actions of Stresemann. He ended passive resistance in the Ruhr, which meant that the industrial production restarted. And he followed this with the introduction of new currency, the Rentenmark. His action stabilized the German economy. You can always put this as the 3-pointer, okay? Always. This is a 2 to 3 pointers, and this is a 2 to 3 pointers. It's up to you which one you put first, okay? This is a perfect case of, kind of like balancing your answer. Of course, it was important, but no, it wasn't so important. There were other things that worked in the behind the doors that worked in the favor of Germany. So it's really up to you. What do you think, fairly, squarely? What do you think you're gonna get on this one? I would say 9 to 10 for me. What do you think, boys? Don't be afraid to say 10 if you can master all this stuff. Yes, Michael, I admire your confidence. This is how you have to be. It's awesome. I have no doubt that you will get at least 9. And you, Ben. I'm absolutely sure about that. Yes, Theo. Yes, Toby. Good. Very good, Riley. Very good people. So, done and dusted. Next. This is exactly how I used to study, boys. And I used to study for 3-4 hours per day. And then I got a very good results in history and other things. So I know that you have some other things, but you probably have to prioritize each exam one by one. And history would be, I think history is the first one of all. There is other, do you have any other exams before? Okay, doesn't matter. From which parts of German society, that's the last part, we do these 2 and that's it. From which part of German society did the Nazis gain their support in the 20s? Ooh, beautiful. What will be your first answer?
Rural communities, rural conservative communities.
Very good, excellent. So Nazi, very, very good. Any other opinion? Boys, think church, think farmers who put that, think wealthy, what? Businessman, and so on. Good. Let's go. Let's go and see. Beautiful. Let's go there. Good. Nazi support. So easy. So easy. How easy is to actually revise with the past papers. It's beautiful. From which part gain support? Bold, uppercase. Four-pointer. Parts of German society. Good. So, look at that. The first thing Michael said, that's the perfect one. Peasant farmers in northern Germany supported the Nazis. Middle class shopkeepers supported the Nazis. Small business people, as I said, supported the Nazis. Okay, people who view Weimar's art, literature, and film as immoral. So the conservative. Okay, conservatives. Okay, let's put it in here. Nationalists, people loving their country, and ex-soldiers. Oh, look at this, so many. I guess we all have 5 out of 4 from this one, okay? No excuse to lose marks in here. Got it? Good, next. Copy and paste. Rename 039. Good. Next is what question? Let's see. The next will be the 6 pointers. Why were Nazi party policies unpopular with some Germans before 1929? Ho, 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 ho. Okay, who's gonna tell me?
The economy had kind of stabilized, so they didn't see the need in such extreme measures for the economy.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Nazi policies are unpopular. Any other opinion? No opinions. Good. We go straight to the answer. We are not doing a contest here of opinions. We want to know the answer and how we actually create this in our favor, how we use this in our favor. So why were Nazi party policies unpopular? Believe it or not, some of their party policies were extremely unpopular. Which one will be unpopular? That's okay, boys. Let's go there straight to the answer. Nazi party policies were unpopular with some Germans before and in 92 because the situation in Germany seems to be improving. Well done, Mr. Michael. The first thing you said, that's the first thing you argue. So, main why unpopular? So main reason is it was pointless. Okay, the situation was improving. Good. Nazi party policies were unpopular because the situation seems to be improving. Nazi policies emphasized the need to improve the lot of workers, arguing the workers were exploited. Urban industrial workers felt they were doing well in Weimar, Germany, and so no need to switch their loyalties from the socialists to the more extreme right-wing Nazi party. Look at that beauty of an answer. Next, look at that. Most industrial supporters supported the left-wing parties and the unions, okay? And the Nazis, they wanted to ban that, and the unions, okay? The prosperity of Germany under Stresemann meant Germans were not interested. Germans were not interested in extreme politics. Very, very cool reason. Supported the left-wing parties. That's another one. The Nazi party's policies were associated with violence. Another reason. Look at that. Okay. Nazi party aims seems irrelevant to most German people. We cut that. So that will be second reason. Second. Second reason. How we can summarize this one will be people were not interested. In extreme policies and violence. Okay, So that will be a second reason, very easy one. Look at this, how cool it is. I think that's an easy 6. I should do, let's say, 5 to 6. What do you think, boys? What do you think? You got this, all these points? Or not? Let's see now, 0.40, and that's perfectly, we finish with 40. Okay, let's see. Good, good. You are modest. I like this. I like modesty. I think you can do even maximum in this one because it's not such a big deal of a question. So let's go for the last one of the day. And tomorrow, again, tomorrow I'll be at school around 10. I have to double check. And so for tomorrow, if you want, we're going to do a lesson starting 1 to 2:30, if possible. So I'm going to write that there after. Okay. Good. So let's see what's the last question for us. 10 markers. Okay, 10 markers. Hitler's racial views were the main reasons for the success of the Nazi between 29 and 32. Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one. This is a tough one. And the first, what is the first inclination? What would you say? Remember that heaps of people were anti-Semitic and they blamed it on Jews and stuff and the economy and everything. So the racial policies were very much a big deal in society. So racial views. What do you think, boys?
Gave people a scapegoat so that they didn't have to blame themselves for the economic hardships.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Always think in terms of the question, racial views. Okay, racial views. That will be the most important part. What will be the racial views? What's the most important thing in the racial views? When Hitler will talk about race, he will say what?
The Germans are the greatest race that have ever existed.
Exactly. Mainly Aryans. Okay, so let's talk about Aryans, Germans. Yeah, that's correct. That kind of Nordic kind of race. So let's say how we actually think in terms of this question. Yes. Yes, racial views were the main reason for Nazi success. No, there were other reasons, economic reasons, I would say, because he fixed unemployment, okay? No, other reasons. Other reasons were guilty for Nazi success. Okay, guilty is like this. Got it? Good. Bingo, bingo. And this is gonna be 2. And yes, yes, yes. And that's gonna be 3. Again, we are in this thing. Very easy. Look at that. We're going to look now. Let's see. Hitler realized that the German people who are suffering and losing their faith, in the Weimar. That's the first point. By portraying the Jews as an inferior race. So you have to say the word Jews and race in there, because that's the main point in the question, who are successful at the expense of hardworking. So you explain how they were, how Germans will look into the Jews. They'll say, oh, you are the main reason, you are the main people to blame for our problems, because you have the money, you hire people, you fire people, you have the money, you give us loans with interest and profits, and you just want to get all the profits. It's the same reason if you look into the banks nowadays. I don't know if any of your parents are working in the banks or something, but people are just looking into banks like that. So you can compare the banks nowadays with the scapegoat discussion about Jews in Hitler's time. People believe, if you ask people nowadays on the streets, they will say, yes, bloody banks. They actually get all the profits and send them to Aussies, billions of dollars in profits from very difficult earned money. And poor Kiwis, they are exploited by the banks, which in fact is, it's there, it's true. So it's the same thing. Of course, you cannot write about that, but I'm just saying for you to understand that at some point in time, you will point out into one direction, which is very obvious. And for Hitler, it was actually excellent for him to find the Jews as the scapegoats and the communists as the biggest threat on the planet, and over-amplify that discussion to actually get some racial sentiments from the German people. So look at that, successful at the expense of hardworking German people. As another point, he argued that the Jews were responsible for Germany's problems. This gave people a scapegoat and increased his support. I perfectly explained 3 pointers, 3 reasons. No other reasons were other reasons guilty for Nazi success. What will be one of the reasons? The depression was the main reason, because Hitler said, I told you so, they're gonna collapse. And that's that society, the Western society, they are telling us a lot about. It's like, oh, the best society, blah, blah, blah. Look at that society, it's collapsing now. Everything is collapsing. Vote for me and I will give you some true nationalistic, strong power German society. And then economic chaos, obviously, and then unemployment at 6 million, huge for a country like Germany, around 50 million at that point, something like that. Hitler promised to make Germany great again and to end unemployment. This meant that many people turned to the Nazis as the solution to their problems and a way of ensuring they could feed their families. What is missing in here, boys? So how are you going to write this? I need someone to tell me how you're going to write this, please. Look at the screen and tell me how you're going to write this. Okay, you are not very talkative, that's okay. So look at that. Racial views were, oopsie daisy. Were an important component of discourse as he used in as he saw opportunity to use the Jews scapegoat in economically. So racial views were an important component of this discourse. Racial discussion was an important component of Hitler's discourse, as he saw the opportunity to use the Jews as a scapegoat for all the bad things that happened in the German economy. The Great Depression, however, the Great Depression was another important reason, nothing to do with the racial debate. In conclusion, Hitler seized the opportunity to advance his racial views in German society as the occasion presented itself during the years of economic hardship. Okay. That's the one, boys. So this will be 10 pointers. I think. What do you think? What's going to happen in here? What do you think? Out of 10, boys? Let's say 9. Yeah, 7 to 9 is a good point. I would like to see more. So I would like to 7 to 9 means that you will be around an 8, which is good. Toby is good. Don't underestimate yourself, Toby. You'll do very well. You know heaps of stuff. You've done well. It's not a problem. Even if you, if you think you're not gonna get all this information and stuff, this was actually very good. So you have to think in terms of racial views. So he was into the racial things or not, and why. And in my opinion, he was using everything that can give him a leverage in terms of advancing. Okay, boys. So this is it. I'm gonna be there tomorrow around 1 o'clock. So 1 p.m. If you can come up. If no one will be there, I will see you all on Monday. And we'll continue with this for the entire next week, because at the end of this next week, you will have your first exam. God help us all. So let me stop the recording and then we'll say goodbye.